restriction law. We did a 23 that would make it more difficult for African Americans to exercise their right to cast their ballot. As we battle financial institutions where Black people are still facing redlining and discrimination, and the lawsuits are being settled by the justice system. And finally, who would ever thought that African American studies and Black history courses taught in critical race theory would be used to weaponize and to invoke fear and confusion and division. And so today, as we talk about Black history and celebrate our accomplishments, but we also have to remind ourselves that we still have battles that we are fighting and that we must continue to unite and stay focused, that we can only do this together. And so again, I want to thank you for coming out, and as we continue to celebrate and raise the consciousness around some of these topics that is important to all of us. And it's important that we stay connected and understanding that our fight is connected to your fight. We are in this together. Thank you very much.
One of the things that we do in CSRN, we never start anything without permission from our elder, so our brother elder, probably, they come up and give.
Yes, but you have.
Before we continue, is there anything that you'd like to say to those who are watching, not only here, but also elsewhere?
Yeah, I begin. First, I'd like to say that we should be allowed to speak our own history. No one else should be allowed to tell us. We're not asking for permission. We will have our. So to begin with, I want to say that we should know our history. Our history did not begin with us being slaves in this country. Our history began thousands of millennia before. We built the pyramid. We don't need permission from anyone to say that. We built it. The greatest accomplishment of humankind, surpassing going to the moon, was the building of the great pyramid. That knowledge has been lost forever. But we must never lose sight of the fact that our ancestors built the greatest accomplishment. I just want to say that our solution here in America has been 400 years in the making, and we still haven't found the solution to the Negro problem. I want to say to my people, we have to solve our own problem. We can't wait on the government. We can't wait on philanthropy. We can't wait on white people. We have to solve our own problem. And Kwanzaa is the framework for that solution. We need unity. We need unity in our family. That is the key thing that is destroying the Black family is broken down. We need unity between the Black man and the Black man. We need kujitagulia between self-determination. The governor in Florida is telling us how to tell our own story. Well, we're not having. We're going to tell our own story every time we get a chance, regardless of what the governor of Florida, anybody else. We need Ujima, which is collective work responsibility. The Black man needs a national mutual defense cover that we will protect each other from police brutality and everything. Ujima, we need to support Black business and Black economics. Nia, we need to leave our community in a better condition than we found it. Kuumba, creativity, taking what we have to get what we want. And faith, the highest value, faith in God, faith in our teachers, faith in our parents, and faith in ourselves. We need economics and education. I propose one solution to remind people is get education. We should go from being the least educated people in America, which we are, to being the most educated people in America in one generation. That should be our goal. Thank you very much.
Shall we pray? We call upon our community's divine spirit within each of us to assist in asserting the African principles of unity, self-determination in the building of our national and Pan-African community. In the building of our Pan-African community, we call upon virtues of truth, justice, balance, order, harmony, diversity, equity, and inclusion to guide our path and solidify our relationships. Collectively, we call upon these African-American principles and virtues in our efforts to reach deep within ourselves in order to realize our fullest potential and possibility. We stand this historical moment and request our elders, ancestors, and community leaders to give us insight, innovation, and initiative to come together in love and struggle to create a community in our own image and interest. We ensure that our national community develops the capacity to make us free, proud, and a productive people. Amen.
They sing the rising sun on new day. God, let us march on to victory. Everyone is mine.
Good afternoon. Welcome for a few minutes to spend together, and thank you all for questions. Part of the program, your words were heard. Sound. Thank you for sharing that tradition. Mentioned that we have others here, mayors here, so yeah, our newest councilwoman, Carrie Russell. Thank you for joining us today. Very briefly, we start the county commissioners, especially this celebration of Black History Month. Personally, I come to this not much the celebration. I come and hang. Black history is made yesterday. Black history is made last week. Black history will be made tomorrow. We all not go back and celebrate voice that we have to understand. Great contribution, great academic, mathematicians, industrialists, community leaders, and we should spend time doing that. I want to reflect that in part of history month today, that struggle is now for folks. And I mean, it's probably maybe a little incongruous from a senior white guy saying this, but I do have to when I see what happens. We saw the history of America go Civil War, Reconstruction, the Jim Crow, and maybe not move on. The Jim Crow mentality has risen south again, as we have seen. And the white hoods chief, the Klansmen, have been replaced by clappers called state legislators in some of our states. There's much of a Klan mentality to those legislators. Speak does that by own risk. The attack is real, the attack is different than Jim Crow was. But they say that and people try to say we can't history. People who say we celebrate the high points and the low points of race in this community is why we need a Black History Month to start today. You know, conversation can start at the top. I'll say that. We'll be hired a guy. For me, my job said your job is to make me uncomfortable. I do not learn from comfort and rest. I learn from disturbance. I learn from uncomfortable. And their job is to make. So folks out to say, we can't be uncomfortable. It's a requirement for education. Our job this year, this month, this time, make us uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable, they get us started. All right, time for little disturbance.
Definitely are uncomfortable during. I just want to thank the people in our community that put this together, 4 or 5 years ago. So, at that today, I was talking to Mark, I know, this is a good day. You want to find some celebration in this sound tone. Well, they don't stand up and look at themselves, talk about ways to improve their bottom line status. Don't say, got a lot of work to do. But I think where we can have some moments that this town, this city, this county, recognizes that we have. And I think we're committed to that. So, you know, let's take a moment to just realize where we are, who we're with today, and our commitment to strength and knowing that. You know, I was thinking, you know, I think we talked about this a little bit last year, that we raise the flag today, and we know we're raising up every day because we have such a strong, wonderful, diverse city to live in and to learn by. And work. I learn more when I come and to a ceremony. I know we all know, but today I'm going to add that I feel when I come to a ceremony. I think when you feel sad, or you feel uncomfortable, or you feel, that's when you can really grow. So I'm grateful. And I'm grateful that I have you to feel sad or uncomfortable, scared, or worried that we can't get this big job done. We have so much work, but I have confidence in it that we can. Now, we talked about the D, and I'm so proud, our board is so proud that we're trying to put a DEI together. Crystal, there are huge parts of that guiding us. And as we do that, I'm going to take out of George Floyd's death. And but yet we're still stuck. Still got more names that we have to mention. So we know how hard of a job that we all have. But we're a tough bunch. And fighters, we're lovers, we love each other, and we want it to be a better place to be. So thanks to Jessica Ford, our administrator, who can help lift us up and do all the great things. Because we have to look at ourselves first, and we will. And we need you to tell us when we're not. And but together is continuing to live. Every single person to have the best opportunity to live like they want. So thanks everybody. Sad to be here sometimes together, but wouldn't want to have it together. So thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you all for being here today. As a 32-day commissioner, I've never been so proud. I've been proud for a long time. I live in Lucas County, I live in Toledo. But today kind of just really tops us off with everyone being together. And I overheard, you know, what Mark had said about that we're one of the very few places that raises a flag and recognizes February as being Black History Month. And let's say a few words. I was down in Florida not too long ago, saw all the news going and talking about critical race theory, the fact that we cannot teach African American studies in classes. And I thought, what a shame, because folks like me that came from Missouri that was not taught a lot about African American history, and I had to join the military and got exposed to a different culture than what I was exposed to in a little rural town of Lincoln. But I really started my learning there, but I thought, wow, would it be great to have been able to learn these things in school so that I would have been a better educated human being right in the United States of America. But unfortunately, we're finding that. But it's okay in the state of Ohio that we teach kids homeschooling about Nazism, but we can't talk about African American studies in our classroom. And so that's very disturbing to the direction that we think that we were going. But here in Toledo and Lucas County, I think that we're really showing leadership and stewardship to our citizens. So I say we're a great place to live, work, and retire right here in Toledo. There's something else I learned along those ways. And every month in February comes around, I take that month to learn 28 and sometimes 1 day. Every day of something I did not know before around a culture in which I was not raised around. And then practice that, learn that, and work on that each and every day do that whole, that's here until February one turns around again, and I start that process again. So I want to challenge those that are tuning in, will read about this in the paper, read about the news tonight. If you take your next 28 days and learn something each and every day in and around the history of our African Americans and our Black history, of which we not have in this county, but we have in Toledo, we have in the state of Ohio, and throughout the whole United States. And that way, I believe that we will all learn in a little bit more. So with that, I'll leave you with this. I often wonder what all the different colors of the flag. And so a lot of people do not know that. Red represents the blood that unites all Black people and that has been shed as a result of slavery. Black, the black stripe, is a representation of the Black people's skin color, and green represents fertility of the African continent. So there I'll start Toledo and Lucas County with a little bit of something they may not have known before. But I will challenge you to learn something each and every day as we go through the next 28 days in the month of February, and learn a little bit more and teach a little bit more, and not be afraid to have conversations and with our community that we all live, work, and retire in. So thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. And I'm the city of Toledo. We are proud to be part of this program. I want to recognize again, I know they've already been recognized. We'll hear from the next council in these rooms with us, and our newest council, very Hartman. They are part of something historic. They're a whole winning. You noticed President Biden gave recently President's cap. It's hard to not be frustrated. Some force. History of the text. I think everything was fine. 1961. It's hard not to be frustrated. That folks who believe those things are only accepted. He was elected. Not like a crazy person. Blog. Newspaper. It's the elected government of states. And it's frustrating. Scary. Some of our national politics are scary. Voting rights have been overturned. Essentially, Supreme Court overturned so much of the process. I don't. It's hard to have hope sometimes what's happening on these issues. What gives me is my belief that we can make a difference. Even on the longest way, find out others got to take that, take one step. Regardless of whatever is broken in this country, actually, it's politics. That here in Toledo, well, we just go here, not perfect. I do think get it right, get it wrong. And I do think there is a togetherness the spirit of this. Back to that is every day is a day to celebrate. Our city, it became without the contribution of our team, Elvis Stewart, Jack Ford, closest to the rock, and on. And long before it became me, nowadays you see people like the city of Cleveland against the world, Fort Wayne against them. Long before that, Toledo always has had this togetherness spirit. That I think reflects well on that. Maybe it is because we do feel picked up. I do think that we don't have time for silly divisions and rivalries that involve that. There is a sense into the reason program looks like this part. It's just a small part. By nurture.
Thank you so much. So I'm always, every time everyone sees me, I'm always happy. I'm happy today. This is a great occasion. I'm glad to be excited. Invited me and the commissioners. The word that I think of today, though, as we are standing here, I had this whole thing in my head, and I said, I'm going to talk about the history of Blacks in Toledo, because that's where we are. But I think of allyship. I think of the word allyship as we stand here with our white allies, and they want to be made uncomfortable. We as a community accept that challenge. And I say that because we have to show allies how to fight for us and with us. And when you have a willing ally to do that, Toledo and Lucas County, we should do that. We shouldn't talk about what didn't happen and what did happen. We should talk about how it can be changed. History is important because history is a story. And when you talk about the story of the city of Toledo, the flag has been flying since 1920, the Pan-African flag. Toledo has been doing it for 6 years. Toledo says they want to be involved in that allyship. We talk about history. As I stand here on the hills and the shoulders of my ancestors, elders, I say thank you. I say thank you to Lorene Quinn Whitaker, my grandmother. I say thank you to Paula Hicks Hudson, the former mayor, Black woman mayor of Toledo. I thank you all for giving me what I am, a Black woman. I stand here today with the green on, Lisa. Thank you, Commissioner Sabecki, my ally. I stand here with my green on, showing the fragility to learn new ways to be a better person, to help my allies understand how that uncomfortableness can help us. So when I say this, we need to make sure we put exactly the words that are meant to be said. I'm not going to say what makes you comfortable, and I'm not a magical Negro. I'm not going to stroke your ego and say, good job. I'm going to tell you that was racist. And that's what we need to be as Black people in Toledo, because we have the allies that are willing to be uncomfortable. I love Toledo. Toledo is a city of opportunity. I am that opportunity. I grew up in the inner city. I still live in the inner city. I'm not magical. I'm not a unicorn. There's plenty more like me. When we celebrate Black history, I celebrate it every day because I see it every day. I see it in the faces of the kids that I serve. I see it in the faces of the constituents I serve. I see it in the faces of the mothers that have lost children. the fathers that have lost children. Today, I saw it in the men that were exiting from prison. I thank our allies, and I say, let's go. If you're ready, I'm ready too. I thank you so much for this. This is so amazing. It's beautiful. It's what's needed. It's the kickoff. So look, okay, let's get to work. Let's get to work. So thank you so much. My name is Vanice Williams. I represent the best district in the city of Toledo, District 4. Thank you so much, and thank you so much. Happy Black History Month.
And I am here representing NAACP, chapter 3204 in Toledo, Ohio. So what does the Pan American flag, why does it matter to Black history? What does that have to do with that? Why is it raised here at one government center? For many in the Black community, the flag is a symbol of pride, unification, change making. The Pan-African flag is simultaneously the symbol of advancements made and the work we still have to achieve, or we still have to do to achieve justice. The Pan-American flag represents the contributions that Black Americans have made to history. That should be common knowledge. And one flag flying from one government center is a representation of other pieces of history that many may or may not know. The flag has established a precedent of how Black Americans can identify their specific traditions, culture, and history. The flag is a unifying symbol from Black History Month to Kwanzaa to Juneteenth to many other Black American celebrations throughout our history. And though it was introduced in the 1920s it is still a symbol of political activism. It is still waved in countless movements intended to end the Black American struggle. This Black History Month is an open invitation to take a deeper dive into the history and learn about the obstacles that Black Americans have had to overcome and the progress they have made, not only for themselves, but for others in this country as well. The Pan-African flag flies here for each of us, not out of convenience, not out of completion, and not out of complacency, but as a symbol of our rich cultural history, and as a reminder that despite the progress that's been made, it's still a long road to equality. Thank you.
Before I start, I wanted everyone to hear from Joe Summers. He's going to introduce himself. I love this brother. We started organizing in 2014, which I'm going to say he's done. But sometimes we don't give each other our flowers while we're here. And sometimes we give the flowers to those who are over 60, 70 years old. Here's a young brother that's making a difference in our community. I present to you my brother, Joe Summers.
Mic check, mic check. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
You know, it's kind of crazy. 8 years ago, living on the east side, I never saw myself. 8 years later, Shane's blood, you know, and this is my 10th book. Unfortunately, our only sons in Toledo didn't get the Oscar now, but we qualified for more awards. Any movie in the history of Toledo. So to be able to witness all of that last year when I was here, I spoke of these trusts. And I was asked, when was that published? That's important. Today, and thank you, everybody. One of the small things in activism that most activists don't get to do, they don't get to publish. I think I can say I know just about everyone in the room. I didn't go at it with anger, I went at it with solutions. So this piece, I think everybody said the day it's dedicated to a woman by the name of Sonia Bell, or some of the organics or her listics. A couple of years ago, she kept telling me she had started. is part. So, without further ado, I'm just know what to say. By the way, you look it up, social media, Google me, all that good stuff, find videos. This piece is called Broken. Let's begin. Peace. How much longer will we keep waiting for a handout to get a hand up? My grandmother's generation, the oldest I can remember, spent her entire life, yes, her entire life, moving on the east side, trying to find Iraq, but the elevator broke. Only specific folk could move into the express line and have, oh yes, all their dreams fulfilled. You know, the ones with the sought after skin, silky hair, and had a long, yes, long history of oppression behind those contracted lives. The ones whose dream is to succeed, but only, yes, only off the backs of others. How much longer will we keep waiting for a handout to get a hand up? Our grandparents and great-grandparents sacrificed everything, yes, everything for their plot of land, knowing how valuable it is to have something to call your own and can pass down to future generations. No matter what sacrifices they had to make, they were building, yes, building for a better future. Now no one owns nothing but debt and the shiny things they can buy to fill the hole of owning nothing. Except something, yes, something that can be taken away. Don't get your last paycheck. How have we become so lost? Accepting handouts from the very same people that see us as numbers and the calculatable items at the end of the year to raise the price of everything. You trust no one, but you trust them. The very same governments, organizations, political parties, nonprofits, and subsidies that keep your blocks broken until it's time for re-election. Or a new survey, yes, a new survey to come through to find out what blocks have been given up on. We tear down everyone, yes, everyone that tries to build for themselves by discounting them to death and asking for a handout from people who barely have all the gear they need to reach the top. How much longer will we keep waiting for a handout to get a hand up? You don't need to be led to know how to follow. But we've been conditioned to think that if we don't grab everything for ourselves, when they throw us the scraps back to us, or the hard work, yes, the hard work we put in to build our communities, we're the ones that fail. How much longer are you willing to just survive and struggle, leaving future generations with less and less? Because we only give when we're told to. Take every opportunity and leave nothing, no, nothing but scorched earth. How many leaders have to die or be broken? And community funded organizational startups or stumped to the ground by big organizations who see the block as another item they can control with the funds that they lobby through PAC funding, defunding, and gerrymandering of districts for generations of traumatic loss. Yeah. You start researching the researchers that matter. The ones that they programmed you to believe only serve them. You start seeking out grassroots farmers, reaching out to people who don't need the attention of the spotlight because we're too busy doing the work. You start investing and spending your own dollars in your own communities instead of trapping out the few resources your ancestors left you. My grandmother's generation was so focused, just so focused on moving on up from the east side that they left their land, just that land, for highlights, creating a generational curse for my mother that I now have to bring change up. How much love? We keep waiting for a hand up to be hand up instead of building, yes, building our community ourselves.
Now, normally, at the spoken word, we snap our fingers off. I saw some people here. But, first, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm the co-founder of CSRN, Community Solidarity Response Network, along with Mike Leonardi in the Real Bay. I'm also an active and registered member of the Nation of Islam here in Toledo. CSRN was founded November 24th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer of Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We believe that all Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe?
Ashe.
Now, Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes the thing happen. On behalf of CSRN, Black Lives Matter Toledo, Muhammad's Mosque 91, and the Nation of Islam, we are humbled and thankful for the opportunity to be here today. Although CSRN's name is often connected with the critical and constructive critique of holding local leadership accountable, that includes clergy, educators, law enforcement, government, and each other in our community. We can't express the amount of gratitude for the tremendous help and assistance from the Lucas County Commissioners and its entire staff for pulling all this together again. We should give them a hand. CSRN thanks the leadership of our NAACP Toledo branch, its president, former president, and all of the officers for helping to guide us for the past 4 years for raising the Pan-African flag for the month of February, Black History Month. Can we give them a round? Give everybody a round of applause. Family, during Black History Month, we often lift up the names of Black men and women who have ascended to ancestor status. We stand on their shoulders today as we speak. Today, we'd like to acknowledge a special brother and friend for his transition to the status of ancestor. I dedicate this day today to my revolutionary brother, the Reverend Dr. Kenneth Peterson, also known as Kawhi. He is the master drummer emeritus for the Toledo Kwanzaa House and one of my teachers in the art of finding common ground and uniting on righteous principles. We're making history every day, from Will Lucas to Sonny Ramirez, from Erica White to Earl Mack. Change is inevitable. Change in the right direction is what's needed now. My brother Sean Mahone Sr. of Change Academy always says, if nothing changes, what? So we accept the challenge to change. We want for our brothers and sisters what we want for ourselves. In closing, I'd like for you to help me with our solidarity pledge. I'm going to say I, and you say I. I, your name, pledge to strive to love my brothers and my sisters as I love myself. I, your name, pledge to strive to study, to improve myself spiritually, mentally, morally, politically, myself,
for the benefit of
my family,
my family,
and my people.
and
I,
I
her name, pledge to strive
pledge to strive
to be a part of the solution,
to be part of the solution,
the process,
the process,
and not the problem.
and not
I, your name,
the problem.
pledge to strive
Pledge to strive
to give all that I can spare
to give all that I can
of my time,
of my time,
strength,
my strength,
and energy to achieve
to achieve
the above stated.
the above.
Thank you. Give yourself a hand. On behalf of our DEI team, our director, Crystal, and Team Lee Utley, just want to thank you for sharing with us. I want to thank our commissioners for allowing the DEI office to start our events of Black History. We're going to invite you to come back on February 21st, as well as February 28th, as we have some more events, and also February the 4th, where we will be engaged in celebrating Rosa Parks' birthday at the hub downtown Chicago. Thank you, at 10 a.m. And the 7th.
And the subject.
7th, 21st. Thank you.
You take a photo.
Yeah.
Get your feet up in the photo, please. Would you like to be in the photo? Thank you. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, look at Mark, please. Great one.
Free to go?
Love it.
Free to go.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. All right.